there are some spells in this game that need to be called out. Like, you're gonna hear me clapping, called out, my mans! Hey guys, what is up? AwesomeTheSauce here. Hope you're having an amazing Tuesday. I mean, this Tuesday, it's looking pretty good for your boys, so I hope you guys are having just as an amazing Tuesday as I have had. And I thought I'd make this video just because there are some spells in this game that need to be called out. Like, you're gonna hear me clapping, called out, my mans, called out. You know why? Because there are some useless spells, alright? I might literally, guys, I like making top 5s because they're nice and short. But low-key, I could make another top 5 out of this list. Like, if this gets, let's go for like 300 likes, alright? That's a lot of likes. But if it actually gets that many, you guys want to see my opinion on some of the most useless spells in game, then just, you know, drop that like. Do it at the end of the video if you enjoy the video. No need to do it now. But yeah, guys. So, I gotta say something, alright? Some of these spells are just so stupid that they should just not exist in the game. But I will offer some spell suggestions that'll change them, so maybe we can just make them not so worthless that, you know, you never use them. Anyways, alright, let's just start right off the bat, guys. Number 5 is Berserk. I mean, only an idiot would add this to their training point thing, so that's why I have it in my spell deck. It's basically, if you don't know what this spell does, here, let me add it to a deck. Let me see. Okay, yeah, there we go. We got an empty deck here. Let me just add it, and I'll show you, right? What it does 40 incoming, so it adds 40 incoming, but then it adds 30 outgoing for the next 4 rounds. This is probably one of the biggest fails of an astral spell I've ever seen, because it's clearly trying to mimic Feint. Like, look, if you put Feint right next to it, you see the similarities, you know? But there's no comparison right here. There needs to be a change to this. Like, at least swap the incoming and outgoing. Because the whole point of Feint is that you put 70% on your opponent for 30% on yourself, and you get the better end of the deal. You know, you take a risk, but you get the better end of the deal more than not. This, you're basically just helping your opponent. 40% incoming, just gave them a blade. And what did you give yourself? A trap. That's basically what you did. That ain't right. Kings I'll fix, or Kings I'll make it better, bro. Like, this should have been part of the new astral spells. Maybe it is. I don't think it is, but if it is, that'd be cool. But this needs to be changed. It really does. Berserk needs a serious change. My proposed change for this is to make the outgoing 50 and the incoming 30 for 4 rounds. Now, an incoming 30 is still a huge risk. Like, you know, it'll still make people question whether they should use it or not. But at least it's not as awful as this, where you're helping your opponent more than you're helping yourself. So that's number 5, and my spell suggestion to change it, Berserk. You have to be absolutely Berserk to train. No? Okay, I'll see you at number 4. Alright guys, next up in the spells that should have never been made, but unfortunately we have to deal with them every day, is Power Play. Now, let's look at Power Play, alright? Let's just look at it. The reason Power Play is actually not an awful spell, and this is why it's not at the dead bottom of the list. It's not as like mind-numbingly stupid like Berserk is. There's a reason for this, right? When you're a lower level, right, and you summon a minion, you could cast this and your minion could actually start getting power pips. And that's actually a pretty decent bargain. You know, that's something like I've seen it in low-level PvP. People who cast Power Play, first off, even though it's 4 pips, which is another reason why it's stupid, but you know, bear with me here. For 4 pips, it does have the benefit of making minions extremely useful. Like, giving them a power pip, like, if more minions could get power pips, minions would be so back in the game. Like, you don't even know, bruh. So I see the point that you know, a lot of people overlook this. I see why this is sort of useful. That being said, it's completely outdated now. Like, you know, it's just, I'm glad that we do have these bubbles, the critical and pierce bubbles. So at least, you know, they've replaced the damage bubbles, and in the case of balance, life, and death, you know, their own bubbles. But this has so much potential. I really think that they should make a bubble that puts a limit on pips. And I know what you're thinking, that's crazy. But wouldn't it be really, really cool if it cost 2 pips, let's say, and then it put a limit to maybe under 7 pips, you know? And yeah, it would affect some schools a lot, but when you think about it, shadow spells, like, they're more than 7 pips. Like, it should be based on mana. Like, a shadow pip is 5 pips. So it would basically, if you put it under 7, then you limit it to some, you know, very, very small hits. And it would be really, really cool to see this, especially if it was 2 pips. You could keep bubble control, and the thing about balance is that it doesn't really rely on high pip hits, so it would make sense for the school. Now, that being said, that could be very, very overpowered. So I'm not saying KingsIsle should definitely make this, you know, into a thing. This is obviously a suggestion, but I think it's just a mechanic that I want to see. And think about PvE. It's just not about PvP also. If you had this, and you had that ability and made it somehow no PvP, I don't know, if you really wanted to do that, you could limit bosses down to, you know, 6 pips or lower, and that would be really, really cool. It would be a great way to survive, you know, survive battles, and special bosses could just cast their own bubble anyways to make it harder. So I see a lot of potential with this if it were to change. And that being said, it's a pretty useless spell now. Like, you know, just balance doesn't have bubble changes. Before Counterforce came into play and before Gaze came into play, I don't even think I have. Let's see if I even have TCs of this. But basically, the best way to change the bubble, I do have it, was through the Clockwork Spider. Basically, you do damage and you put up a power play. This is basically, at least you do damage and put it up. But if this TC exists, there should be no reason whatsoever why this exists, you know? So clearly there's a need for change. Let me know what you think about this spell below. And we're gonna get back with number 3, one of, honestly, this is very, very useless, but I'll still go into why it's in the game. It aggravates me. It aggravates me. Guys, the next spell you're about to see might hurt your eyes, so you might just want to look away, because I don't know what KingsIsle was thinking. I just don't know. Like, were they just like... I really, really don't know what they were thinking when they made this. Like, this literally, like, it triggers me just to talk about this just a little bit because of how bad this is. So, let's take it out, put it in so you can see it. We'll go over this. I'm not even surprised if you haven't heard of this spell because I've literally never seen anyone use it. Now, let's go over the positives, as limited as they are, of this spell. Basically, what this does, it's called the cooldown. It's an Avalon spell. I mean, at least we got Snowdrift. Ice got Snowdrift. It's actually a very, very good spell. You know, that's great and all. But this? What is this? Basically, what it is, right? It's a team spell. It's just like, it falls under the same, you know, same... Oh my god. No, that scared me. Don't do that to me. Don't, please. My computer just turned on me. It falls under the same category as Legion Shield, so basically it has an effect on all friends. So basically what it does, let's say you have multiple ticks on you, like multiple ticks meaning multiple overtimes on you. So let's say you had a Fire Dragon and a Snow Angel. What this would do, it'll remove 1 tick, meaning 1 round of damage from all of them to all the people in the battle. Now, the reason why this is really, really stupid, one, is because Mass Triage exists, and because Triage exists. So, since both of them exist, it really, really doesn't make sense, you know, why this is a thing. Triage is, especially in, like, 1v1, even in team play, no one would use this. Like, there's just so, like, life has this covered, bruh. Now, the only positive this will have is if we have multiple overtimes on you. So, it's so situational that you just, why would you ever use it, you know? It's like, I don't know what you would actually do. Now, something that, I don't even know exactly how to change this because this is like literally one of the most useless things I've ever seen, but I think it would be very, very cool if it did something like Shift, except instead of keeping it as an overtime, it just did the full damage of the tick on you. So basically, you know, it would still manipulate overtimes, except it wouldn't be a team card, and it would just shift over, like, let's say someone casts a Basilisk on you, you'd shift it over to them, and it would do the full damage of the hit. So basically a shift into a detonate kind of thing. So yeah, that being said, that's the only thing I can even think of. Tell me if you have any ideas. Like, this is pretty uncreative on my part. Like, I just don't know how to fix this. It's just so stupid. Like, I would benefit so much more from someone just doing a rebirth or even a unicorn. This is 2 pips, by the way. At least make it 1 pip. At least. You know, like, as situational as it is, at least make it 1 pip. That's my, that's my number 3, guys. I can't. You know, when I started this, you know, I thought I would be able to handle it. I can't. All right, we'll go to number 2. This one takes a cake almost, bro. This almost takes a cake. All right, guys, this one was literally like, it had people wondering what kings I was doing. Now, again, this is an Avalon spell, just like the last one, which was cooldown. But this one, bro, this one is just odd, and it's Detonate. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if you really didn't even know what this was. Now, remember when I actually mentioned Detonate in my other in the number 3? Well, the reason, hey, chill, all right. Chill. I mean, you can jam a little, but just be careful. All right. But the reason why I mentioned it was because I thought, you know, it would be really cool if it had that effect. Now, Detonate, in theory, it's not an awful spell. You know, here's what it's meant to do. Basically, when you do an overtime, you can create all that overtime and put it into one big damage, and it like all the damage left in that overtime, and do it. Now here's why it's very, very stupid in some ways. Let's say you're in a 1v1, right? Let's start with the really, really bad negatives. Let's say I cast a Heck Hound, right? Well, actually, no, a Heck Hound, this is 4 pips, so it would make no sense if I cast a Heck Hound. But let's say I cast, I don't know, let's a Scald, all right? And so I started off with 7 pips, I cast a Scald. By the time I detonate this, it's already done with a few rounds. At least 1 round, if not 2. If you're first, it's gonna be done with 2 rounds. Especially if it's like an overtime like this. By the time you do it, it would have already done that extra damage. So basically, it's like saying that you're just wasting 4 pips. It's a hard way to explain it. I'm probably not doing the best job of explaining it, but the only way this works is if you have 2 fire wizards. One of them does like a Heck Hound, and then the other one detonates. I would love to see the strategy if it actually worked. I want to see how OP it is, but it's so situational. For that being said, like, I would really want the pip cost to be lowered first off, and I think honestly this should be more of like an enchant almost, you know, like maybe it can do something where it actually you add it onto a card, you know, like an enchant. And I know, like, it's a fire spell, so it's like, what are you thinking? But that's what it needs to be. I don't know how to fix this spell because it's actually pretty useless, because unless you turn it into an enchant, but it can't be something that you cast around after, because it's only for team play, and evidently no one uses it. So that's my issue with this. You know, it really isn't good. I've literally never seen someone use it at all. But yeah, there's nothing else to say about this. Tell me what you guys think could fix this spell, or if you just have another cool spell that could be called Detonate. I honestly think they could just rethink this one. But I think this is really due for a redo. And the problem is, like, you know, fire. Like, this could have done so much for fire, and this just doesn't deliver at all. It's a useless spell that no one cares about, and that's the end of the bargain. Alright guys, time for number 1. Just get ready for this one. This might be literally the most useless move you could ever do in the entire game. Just think about that, in the entire game. And, of course, you might have guessed it already. If you've been watching me for a while, you would know exactly what I'm about to click on. It's Dispel. It's Dispel, the water elemental. I can't tell you. I can't. I can't. You know what? Just because it's number 1. Just because it's number 1, alright? Let's get creative.
You're about to enter.
No, shut up. Yeah, okay. Let's actually go in, right? Summon my mans, okay? And see what my mans does. And while he does his nonsense, I'll explain to you why it's the stupidest spell that's ever been created by any. It's just bad. It shouldn't exist. All right, let me make sure that I can actually kill these guys. All right, there we go. Now we good. You know, we good. We out. Let's see. All right, awesome. Let's summon a water element. I shudder at doing this because it's like, I don't think I've ever even done this before. Let's see what the minion decides to do, guys. Let's see. Okay. No, you can blade and all. Okay. Are you done? Okay. Let's see. First round. He decides to heal himself. How did I know he was gonna do that? How? This is the only minion I've ever seen that loves itself so much that it heals itself. That's the first move that it's about to do. So cool. It has 700 health, by the way. So it's literally, it has the potential to be one of the best minions ever, but it decides to heal itself. All right. No, fair enough. You know, maybe, even if it's at full health, but you know, maybe it's like, you know, I'm feeling down. I just need a sprite by my side. Okay. No, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Let's see what he does next. We'll give him 3 chances to do one useful move that could possibly benefit me. All right. Are you guys ready? What do you think is gonna happen? Just put your prediction right in your head. You know, lock in your answer. But I can assure you it won't be helpful. Oh, he's not helping my case. What the heck is that? He doesn't normally do that. Well, you know what? No, stop. No, stop. He's misproving my point. All right, you're useless. You're useless. Just get out. Thank you. I can't believe he would actually shield me. You were supposed to prove my point. Look, what is he about to do? Yeah, he's about to heal himself. Anyways, I don't care enough to go into this guy. But maybe he shielded me once. You know, I don't even know if the shield was on me. Now that I think about it, was it even on me? I don't know. But it's such a useless minion because other minions do so much for you. All this thing does is heal itself, and it has 700 health. I think there's a chance that by the time you get this, it has like half of your health. And it heals itself. That's what it does. So, very, very useless minion. Definitely not useful for PvP. Very, very situational at best. The best way to improve this is by giving it some sort of hits. It needs hits. It needs to blade. It needs to trap. It needs to be like just like any other minion. If it really needs to, I love that it has that much health. You know, King's Out didn't mess up with that at least. But it really, really does need some sort of, you know, revamp. But yeah, hopefully we see that one day. I am not hopeful. So anyways, guys, I hope you did enjoy the top 5 useless spells, irrelevant spells. Just you'd be bonkers to use them kind of spell. I said bonkers. Oh my lord. But yeah, you'd just be stupid to use them kind of spells. But you know, if you use them, you know, I can't judge you. You know, you chill. You know, you loyal. You appreciate it. But you'd be. What are you accomplishing? So yeah, that's what it is. Now tell me if you have a strategy in the comments below that you'd ever use, and tell me if you agree with my top 5. I mean, I'm sure there are actually others that are even worse than this. You know, there are probably other spells that I actually overlooked, and maybe we can do a part 2 of this. But until then, guys, if someone hasn't told you you're awesome today, they're doing something wrong. So stay awesome, bruh. Yeah.